Let's move along now to our next guest. This man made massive news, massive headlines all over the world of sports entertainment, aka pro wrestling, on Sunday when he showed up as Randy Orton's surprise opponent. And what a freaking time it has been for Joe Hendry. He was in studio on the Monday after his surprise appearance at the Royal Rumble. He has manifested all this. I said it was the highlight of WrestleMania weekend for me because here's a young man who honestly, not that long ago, had no business dreaming of all these things, had no business, the chutzpah on him to dream of all these things, and they're all coming to fruition. Royal Rumble back in January, WrestleMania on Sunday, NXT yesterday. He is doing all these things while still being TNA Heavyweight Champion. He returns to action this Sunday for TNA. We want to talk to him about all of this and a hell of a lot more. We have said his name, and he has appeared. Let us say hello once again to the great Joe Hendry. There he is, my man, Joe.
Hello, Ariel.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you?
Are you like? I just picture Joe Hendry now, just sort of like flying in the air. Like your feet don't touch the ground. If there was a cloud 9 out there, you're on cloud 32. What is your life at this point, Joe?
The great thing about my life, and it's kind of similar to when we last spoke about it, things are just so crazy and so busy, you have no time to overthink things. It's just like, all right, okay, we're wrestling Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Let's go. It only really started to dawn on me when we were getting close to the stadium. I was in disguise. You know how it is in pro wrestling to be able to keep something secret. It's very hard nowadays. We managed to do it. Very proud of it. What a weekend.
Can I ask, when did this first get on your radar? When did the possibility of this, you at WrestleMania, first come across your desk?
So I've actually never answered this question. I've evaded this question every time someone has asked it. But Ariel, because it's you, yes, I will answer it.
Thank you, my friend.
I found out about a week before. I had to sit on this for a week.
Wow. Tell me, what's that call like? Where are you? Can you paint the picture for us? I can't imagine what's going on in your mind when you get this call.
So I was in the airport, and I got a text from Triple H saying, "Can you talk?" And I was at WWE World. I was scheduled to be there to be signing things. I thought, it might be something to the effect of, they've got the Slammies, or it might be like, doing a promo at WWE World. So I'm kind of expecting that's what the call is going to be. And Triple H says, "Listen, I'm sure you're aware that Randy needs an opponent." And yeah, that threw me off completely. Wow. I was in a state of shock, but I just, I knew there was a job to be done. I knew in my mind, but when I approach these things, I just thought I want to bring as much value as possible, and I want this to be the best moment that we can possibly make it. And I'm so proud of what we did out there. That shot of the spin around into the RKO, it's now been made into a trading card. I think it was a really fun moment for the fans. Walk into the ring in front of 60,000 people. It was a huge moment for me. And what an honor to share the ring with Randy Orton. Ariel, I just wrestled Randy Orton at WrestleMania. What is going on?
It's incredible. And I loved your tweet right after saying that exact same thing. Can I ask, and we'll get to the match in a moment, who's the first call when you hang up with Triple H?
You can't tell anybody. I had to sit.
You can't even tell your brother. You can't tell your someone, like, I don't know, a best friend.
I had to sit on this for a week.
Wow.
As far as I know, on our side of things, there were I believe 2 people that had to know business-wise.
Incredible. So, yeah. And so what is that process of hiding you, like that whole thing where they try to cover you up and get you? What is that all like on Sunday?
Well, the cool thing. So here's what my schedule was like. I had 12-hour media day for TNA, 12-hour media day. We had our event, the TNA event in Vegas, Unbreakable. Then the next day I had WrestleCon for like the full daytime. Then I did Westside Gun Show that night. The Saturday I did WrestleCon and that show wrapped at like 3:30 in the morning. Then I'm up to sign at like 8:30 at WrestleCon until mid-afternoon. Then I go to WWE World. Same again on the day of WrestleMania. On the day of WrestleMania, I had WrestleCon from like 8:30 until 1. I had WWE World from 1 until 3, and then went straight to the building,
wow,
got my gear on, and then we went. So there was a lot going on. But the cool thing is, because I was at WWE World, I was booked there for weeks. So All we had to do, get me in the car, and I had a disguise. I had a dark hoodie. I had shades. I had COVID mask. I had we did very well. And the speed of these go-karts, like I got out the vehicle. I'm on not the go-kart, sorry, the golf cart. I'm on the golf cart. Boom, right down the corridor. Threw me in a room. Nobody saw anything. Nobody knew.
Incredible. And how nervous are you at this point?
This is the crazy thing. Sometimes in life you have situations that are just bigger than you can kind of imagine. And this was one of those. So there were no nerves.
Wow.
Right up until I got close to the building because I was so busy. It didn't feel real. And then when I started to see the WrestleMania advertisements on the way to the venue, I was like, oh, okay, this is getting pretty real now.
Did you feel like Randy, I saw he gave you props. I like the reaction when they showed him on camera after you make the initial appearance. Did you feel like he was happy with, he had a big program with Kevin Owens. There was a lot of intrigue, and all of a sudden he's left with no opponent, which added some intrigue. Who's it going to be? Did you feel that he was happy with the way this all turned out for him, you being his opponent at WrestleMania?
So I don't want to speak for Randy. That would be something that he would answer. But from my perspective, I can only speak from my perspective. Yeah. My understanding is that he was extremely happy with how it went. And we clicked immediately. And we were on the same page, which was an awesome thing. He was so amazing to work with. Again, I often find this with top talents. Like when I worked Kurt Angle, they're just so great to work with. And look, people are saying, well, Joe Hendry lost quickly. Yeah, John Cena lost quickly at WrestleMania. It's about creating moments. And if you really, like Ariel, you know what this business is. At the end, when Randy does my spin and then does his pose, people who know what wrestling is know that was Randy giving me his seal of approval.
Yes, 1,000%. And so let us address that, because I couldn't believe that people were saying, oh, you got buried. Oh, it was too quick. Oh, you made, this was an incredible thing.
Ariel, if this is being buried, keep it coming. Keep it coming. Let me tell you. Yeah, look, this is we understood the assignment at WrestleMania. We were the surprise when you saw Randy's promo after the match had taken place. That's what he talked about this being fun. This is Randy Orton's 20th WrestleMania. There was a video package before it. This was a featured match. This, and as Triple H put it in the post-event press conference, this was about giving Randy a fun moment for his 20th WrestleMania appearance. And for me to do that, I remember being 15 years old, walking back from high school, talking to my friend about Randy Orton, and when he was and going to win the world title, he's part of Evolution, and I remember having these conversations when I was 15 years old. So for me to be a part of Randy's 20th WrestleMania, like, this is what people don't understand. When I was at the Performance Center, William Regal gathered everybody around and he's like, listen, if you want to work with Roman Reigns, he literally said this, if you want to work with Roman Reigns and Randy Orton, you need to show that you can be professional, that you can be relied upon, you can do the job. This year, I wrestled Roman Reigns in the Rumble and Randy Orton at WrestleMania. That doesn't just happen. That is a huge responsibility, and I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah, and then you hear what Triple H says about you in the post-event press conference, saying this isn't going to be your first one. This is going to be the easiest one, maybe, because there's no expectations. But he essentially said Joe Hendry is going to be back. And I know you're very proud to be a part of TNA. You hold that belt extremely proudly. But to hear him say that this is going to be the first of many for you, what's the feeling that goes through you when you hear that?
Well, it's a huge compliment. Like, wrestling on WrestleMania it's the pinnacle of our industry. And again, this is something that nobody would have thought possible. And this is where I'd like to give credit to both WWE and TNA wrestling as well. I've said this before, TNA or WWE could have turned around at any point and gone, nah, you know what? But both parties worked together to give the fans an amazing moment and to help me as well. I feel like we're in a situation where everybody's working together and everybody's winning. And that is what great business is. And that's when the professional wrestling business is at its best. I've said this before, different title reigns are about different things. And this title reign is about bringing as many eyeballs eyeballs to TNA wrestling as possible. This is about big business, and I believe that I'm helping facilitate that for TNA wrestling in collaboration with WWE. Very grateful to both parties and the fans for allowing it to happen. This is a win-win-win-win for everybody.
Couldn't agree more. You're 1,000% right. And one of my favorite moments of the whole thing was the reaction from the crowd when your music started. They all knew exactly who you were. You weren't some like, oh, indie non-WWE guy, and they're like, okay, who's this? They reacted as though it was The Rock's music playing. That pop was incredible. That must have made you so very happy as well.
It's honestly the Rumble was insane. The way people ask me about it, I say it was almost like having a VR headset on. It's like it just doesn't feel real. But WrestleMania, that's a completely different spot. And that was like it felt like a physical wave of energy coming towards me. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced in my entire life. And I'm so grateful that I got to have that moment. I'm also very grateful that I had, afterwards, I got to meet up with my amazing friends and my representation. I've got an amazing team working with me now. We all got together after and we had some food, and it was just, called back home. Like it couldn't have been a better day. It was the perfect day.
Incredible. It's such an amazing thing to watch. You're so easy to root for because you could tell how much this all means to you. And like I said, you've manifested all of this. Like to have the chutzpah, as we say, to even dream of all of this stuff. Like when you were in the studio in January after Rumble, would you have believed that you'd show up this quickly again on WrestleMania as opposed to somewhere else, like a Raw here or something? Like, did you think in the back of your mind that this was possible? Truly,
Ariel, this is the truth. After the last Rumble. Not the one I was in, the one before when Jordan Grace appeared. I walked in. We've got a training facility back home where we all train together. I walked in. I says, guys, I was like, mark my words. There was a swear word in there. I said, mark my words. I will be in that next Rumble. And I was. And then I remember I was watching the previous WrestleMania as I was by myself, and I just went, I was watching, I believe it was the video package between Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch, I think it was. And I just thought, I should be there. And I should be there. And I was. It was unbelievable. And after the Rumble, one of my best friends, I was talking to my friend George, and he reminded me that I actually said to him a couple of months ago, I was like, you know what, Mania, I still think I can do it. I still think I can do it. And it's weird, like just anything that I'm thinking just seems to be unfolding. And let me tell you, Ariel, I've got a couple other thoughts of things that I think could happen this year.
Can you tell us more?
Well, you know the match I'm going for.
Yes, John.
And it just now makes more sense than ever. And this is all I'm going to say. All right. He's got some backing. He's got Travis Scott in his corner. Can you imagine if a huge star in music just reached out to Joe Hendry, someone in the same ballpark as Travis Scott reached out to Joe Hendry and said, maybe they might want to start backing me. Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
What genre? What genre of music are we talking about?
Hey, maybe it's the same genre as Travis Scott. Hey,
wow.
Hey, it's all just thoughts and rumors. Did that happen yesterday? Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. Who knows?
Wow. Okay, I love this. And you have talked about that match.
Did this person say that I could go and at one of their concerts and we could? Hey, I'm going to stop there.
Okay. Okay. Let's not get too crazy.
Yeah, let's not get crazy.
You did have a bit of a run-in, and I don't mean a run-in as far as like a fight. Like you crossed paths with John, I do believe, after his win over Cody Rhodes. Can you tell us about that?
When I was backstage. There's filming going on all the time, and I hope John doesn't mind me saying this because John has spoken publicly about conversations we've had. So I will do the same. Not everything, but respectfully.
Sure.
John came back from Gorilla. And he came right up to me, and there were multiple camera crews, and he said that basically what he said on Pat McAfee, John said, you did exactly, he gave me some advice. He said, you did exactly what I told you to do, and you were great tonight. And for him to say on Pat McAfee's show that he thinks I'm going to be a major player, that was the biggest compliment. And I really did take his advice to heart. It was very important to me to show John that respect because he, in my opinion, John Cena is the greatest professional wrestler of all time. So when he tells me that there's a certain path I should be going down or focusing on, That's exactly what I'm going to do, because I think when he's giving me that advice, he's giving me advice to help me and to help me contribute to the professional wrestling business in a positive way. So for John to take the time, he's literally just won the title. And I said, John, congrats on it. And he went, hey, look, that he after just becoming the greatest of all time, took that moment to go, sure, but let's talk about this.
Wow.
He gave me that moment.
Wow.
And you're just going, that's the type of guy that John Cena is.
Wow.
That's the dream match.
That is incredible. How much closer do you think we are to that happening this year?
Look, I just wrestled Randy Orton at WrestleMania. How much closer can you get?
Yeah. You're pretty damn close. Although he has 27 dates left, I do believe. So
yeah, 27.
Not too bad.
that's a decent amount.
Do you think that what are you feeling now as the king of manifestation? Are you thinking third quarter, fourth quarter? Are you thinking second quarter? We're kind of in the second quarter now. What are you feeling?
I'm thinking what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that TNA Rebellion is this Sunday.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I've got a title match coming up that I need to defend against Frankie Kazarian and Ethan Page. I need to get through that. And then we can start to dream some more.
It is this Sunday. I was going to give it a little plug. April 27th at the Gallon Center in Los Angeles. I do believe I pronounced that correctly. Yes, against Ethan Page and Frankie Kazarian, two legends of the game. I think you did hint that maybe there's a potential superstar that might show up. Is that accurate? That there might be a WWE guy showing up on Sunday as well?
Well, Ethan Page is showing up. He's part of the match.
Sure.
All I'm saying is I had a conversation where it was made clear to me there was a lot of enthusiasm about TNA wrestling. And look, who knows what could happen? There's been rumors, there's speculation. I think it would be awesome if someone showed up, but who knows? Okay,
all right. Yesterday you showed up on NXT with Trick Williams and Obafemi. And so what do you think? Are you going to go back and forth now? Are you going to be there for a considerable amount of time? What is the plan? What can you tell us? Hey there, sorry to interrupt. Just want to remind you, if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. We would appreciate it very much. And while you're at it, give us a thumbs up too. We've got live shows, interviews, clips, and a whole lot more going on this here channel. All right, now back to the show.
Who knows? We're in an era where anything can happen.
I love it.
All I'll say is I do worry about my traps and my shoulders, because this shoulder is getting a little bit more of a workout than this one. So maybe we need to add some weight to this one as well. That's all I'm saying.
I love it. Okay, this is great. What a life you're having right now. It's amazing. It really is amazing. Was there some talk of you competing on one of the Raws in Europe over the last couple of weeks, and it didn't happen, and they said, we got you, we're going to make good on this, and obviously, there's no greater make good than WrestleMania. Was there some talk about that? And if it is in fact true, were you disappointed at the time that it didn't happen?
Ariel, I just wrestled Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and I'm the TNA World Champion. Does this look like somebody that's disappointed to you?
No.
Things worked out pretty well for Joe Hendry. Whatever happened, things worked out.
Okay. What was that on the table? Was that a potential?
I mean, look, it's professional wrestling. Anything and everything's on the table, especially nowadays.
Okay, speaking of professional wrestling, could I ask your opinion as a wrestling fan now? You
Sure.
take off the Hendry hat, the TNA champion hat.
All right. I'm going to take it off. All
okay,
right,
here it is. Yes. The finish on Sunday has been much discussed. And honestly, I don't think it comes from a bad place. This is fun. This is barbershop talk. People love to debate this stuff. That's what makes being a pro wrestling fan fun, at least for me. What did you think? We saw The Rock's reaction to it yesterday. We've heard that. Triple H talked about it as well. Cena going over, the way in which he went over, no Rock. What's your expert analysis of how it all went down?
You're putting me in a spot here, because to me, John Cena is the greatest of all time. Cody Rhodes is someone who I have great respect for. I've worked with. Sorry. He was gracious enough to text me about performing on WrestleMania with everything he had going on. For Cody to take a few minutes to send me a nice text was very, very cool. So that was very cool. And The Rock's my favorite wrestler of all time. He's the reason I got into the business, and I'm sure we can manifest things about that later down the line. All right, we'll get to that on another day. But for me, this is just my opinion. I'm just, again, we're putting the title to the side for a second. For me, John Cena is the greatest professional wrestler of all time, and that has been made official.
Okay.
And that is, to me, that's, John Cena is the greatest of all time, and yeah, now it's official.
Did you get to watch any of WrestleMania? Obviously, you were kind of the secret surprise, but even on Saturday when people didn't think that you would be there, did you get to watch any of it from the stands, if you will?
I was not at the event on Saturday. Obviously there was a lot going on to prepare for the next day, so I did watch parts of the event. What was very cool for me was after it competed, I got to go to just a little room where I got to watch the end of WrestleMania with William Regal, with his son, who I'm good friends with, and with Josh Barnett as well. So that was pretty cool. William Regal was one of the first people who I met him in the first year of professional wrestling, and William Regal sat me down for 2 hours and I was a nobody. Sat me down for 2 hours and told me this is what this business is, and the lessons and the principles that he gave me on that day I've carried forward every day in this business until now. And I was able to thank William Regal personally for that as we watched the finish of WrestleMania that I competed on. And that was my way of letting him know that your advice was a big part of this journey, and I'm grateful for it. Thank you, sir. Incredible. So that was very cool.
Anyone in the immediate aftermath of the match, maybe even Paul Levesque himself, come up to you and offer you praise that really stuck with you?
Yeah. Again, I don't want to speak for other people, but honestly, what is unreal for me is to be able to stand there with Randy Orton and with CM Punk and with John Cena, and for them to tell me that they thought that I was the right person for the spot, and I did my part in helping create the moment that they felt was the right moment for the show at that time to contribute to the show. For them to tell me that is, that's as rewarding as going out there in front of those people themselves. These guys are, legends in the game.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for everything that's taken place. I continue to be grateful, and I'm so thankful to the fans. It's them that are putting me in this position. When I arrived at the venue, I didn't even know about this. They just presented me with my own WrestleMania merchandise that I got to wear to the ring. And now Topps made a card for me. Like, I have a card with Topps. It's only available for like one more day, and then it's done. Like my TNA card is going for like $4,000 or $5,000. So grab yourselves these cards, and you know what? It's a joint card with Randy Orton. I mean, come on.
Look at that.
It's yeah. And again, so it was just, it was, I can't show enough gratitude for what's happened. I also do want to take time to thank my colleagues at TNA Wrestling, because, working with, I really don't want to miss anybody out. There's so many names, but, working with Moose so many times, and Eddie Edwards, and, even Brian Myers, I got to put him over a little bit. There's just, I'm going to miss out a lot of names, so apologies, guys. There's so many people. Eric Young, there's so many guys in TNA who have helped me. Ace Steel has been a big part of my journey. R.D. Evans taught me everything I know in professional wrestling. These people have helped me get to this point. And my colleagues in TNA, it takes an army of people to put me in this position. So I'm getting a lot of the spoils and the benefits that come with this, but it really has been a team effort. All the management and crew and TNA, that everybody that's contributed to this, it's a team effort, and I'm grateful to every single one of you for putting me in this position. And I hope that I can repay that by taking these new eyeballs and bringing it back to our company, and bringing eyeballs to TNA and making it bigger, helping make it bigger and better for everyone. And and also for Matt and Jeff Hardy to take the time that they've taken to help put me in the position that I'm in. I'm very sorry. I know I'm going to miss some people. It's just, it is what it is. But Matt and Jeff, when they came back to TNA, they could have. They were given the microphone, and the first thing that Matt did was say, Joe Hendry's the next guy. you know? So that, again, these top talents, like, I couldn't be more grateful. I'm the most fortunate guy in the world.
I love it. There was a tweet that you retweeted from a young man named Tom Campbell about a conversation that you guys
Yeah.
had. Could you tell us that story? Because
Yeah.
again, it just speaks to, there's the tweet from Tom that you retweeted as well. But could you tell us the story? Because again, it speaks to just how incredible your story is.
Well, that was what I was talking about. You know, when I walked in the next day to my trainees, I was telling them, I says, I'll be in that next Rumble. And then I was trying to imagine, if I was able to get in the Rumble, what would the pathway be to WrestleMania? And I did tell Tom, we were on the road. It was about 2 a.m. And I remember telling him, and again, it's there's a bodybuilder that I went to train with called Dorian Yates, former Mr. Olympia, one of the best of all time. And he says something. He's like, it just got to a point when he says, well, why not? Why not? And that's the approach, in my view, that you have to adopt and go, well, it has to be somebody. Why not me? What can I do to put myself in that position? So here I am, very grateful. Yeah, just gratitude, my friend.
Delighted for you. Well done, Joe. Really, it's a beautiful thing to watch, and again, you make being a fan fun. It's so fun to go on this ride with you, and to know how much it means to you. You did fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
You did fantastic.
Thank
it really
you.
was great, and for me, the highlight. It really was. I'm not just saying that. It was the thing that put the biggest smile on my face this past weekend. Really, really happy for you, and love to hear what Scott D'Amore said about you on our show. I don't know if you saw that on Monday. He was delighted for you as well.
That's great to hear. And again, I just want to thank you for having me on. It was great to be in studio. Hopefully we can do that again soon, because I just have a feeling, I remember thinking, how could 2025 possibly be bigger than 2024? But, you know, I've just got a sneaking suspicion that we're just getting started. So I think you're going to need to keep a few slots aside for me.
I can't wait.
Next 6 months, my friend.
You're welcome anytime. And I know you're coming to New York in July, so hopefully that could be it, if not sooner.
Absolutely. TNA Wrestling at the UBS Arena as well. Go check it out.
Thank you, Joe. All the best. Keep it up. And good luck this Sunday at Rebellion. We shall be watching.
Thank you, my friend.
There he is, Joe Hendry. What can you say about this guy? The pride of Edinburgh, Scotland, the reigning defending TNA World Champion. Look, if you're not even a wrestling fan, I get it. You got to love a guy who has put it out there, who has dared to dream, and who has said, you know what? I'm going to believe not only in myself, but in the world, just kind of working in a mysterious way, and it's all going to work out for me. Love it. Love everything about it, and it is working out for him. TNA Rebellion is this Sunday in LA. He's in a triple threat match. We saw a couple of those that were very fun over the weekend with Ethan Page and Frankie Kazarian, the likes of the aforementioned Hardy Boys, Nick Nemeth, Matt Cardona, who we like as well, Elijah Moose, and many more. Go over to TNAWrestling.com to check out more on how you can watch. And the guy's killing it not only on TNA, but NXT as well. He showed up yesterday. Great job by him. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up. Leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.